what is an independent insurance agent? I get this question all the time because at Shine Insurance, we are independent insurance agents. What is it? And all these questions always come up, so I thought I would just resolve that in a quick video right here. And I thought the best way to describe what an independent insurance agent is to talk about the 3 ways to get home, auto, or business insurance, and therefore kind of show you what's available and what the different options are. So the first one is to sign up online or call an 800 number, simply going to your online spaces and getting insurance on your own. The second is what's called captive agents, and I'll describe that in a second. And the third is an independent agent. So let's start at the very beginning. You can definitely go online or call an 800 number and get insurance all by yourself. It's very easy, it's very quick, and you are on your own in doing so. And more people are doing that. More and more commercials are being shown for those kinds of companies. So that certainly is one way to go about getting your insurance. Some examples of those are like Liberty Mutual or Esurance or Safe Auto. A lot of the ones you see in commercials a lot of the times are available online or through an 800 number. The second is through what's called a captive insurance agents. And these are folks that usually have a local branch of a large insurance company. The term captive refers to the fact that those folks work for one specific company. They work for the company, therefore they are captive to that company. They can't go out and look at other companies, other options. If you're calling them for insurance, they're going to show you what is available with their insurance company. Some common examples of those are State Farm, Allstate, or Farmers. Generally, those folks have local spaces you can go to. If you want to walk in the door of their agency, shake hands with an actual human, you can do that. As far as how they're paid, because I get that question a lot, how are different folks paid for the work they do? Agents of a captive agency are generally paid a salary, right? They work for the company, they're paid a salary, and then they get, performance bonuses associated with how many folks they bring in the door. So that brings us to independent agents. And an independent agency is an agency that provides access to multiple insurance companies and advises about which one is best for you. So independent agencies make relationships with multiple companies. They go out to those companies and say, hey, you're a great company. We would love to work with you. Would you like to work with us? And then they do that with multiple different companies. It could be 2 companies. It could be 5. It could be 10, 20 different agencies work with different amounts of companies, but all independent agencies work with multiple companies. And the companies have to know that going in, that if they're working with independent agents, there's going to be competition in that agency. In a captive agency, there's no competition. The people work for the company, there's no other companies there. In an independent agency, there is competition amongst companies inside that agency because the agency has multiple companies that they're working with. The companies independent agents work with are different than the captive companies. I get the question all the time, can you offer me State Farm or Allstate or Farmers? And the answer is no, I don't work with those companies because they've made a choice. They have chosen to have their own agents in towns around the country instead of working with independent agencies. So companies have to make a decision. Do they want to work with independent agents knowing that there will be competition in the agency, or do they want to have their own captive agents in town and just have no competition in the agency? As far as how independent agents are paid, it's different as well. Generally speaking, independent agents are paid a percentage of your insurance premium. So if you decide to work with them, you pay $1,000 for your insurance policy, the insurance agency is going to get some cut of that premium. And so in essence, an independent insurance agent is free to you. The number that is sent to you as the quote, this is how much your auto insurance is going to cost. This is how much your home insurance is going to cost. That is the bottom line number you'll be paying. But a little bit of that money comes back to the agency, and that's how they make their money. So I set up a graphic here just to break down, 4 different parts. Obviously, there's lots of different things to think about when you're thinking about which insurance company to work with. But here's 4 examples and the difference between these 3 options. Let's start with speed. You want to get a quote. You need it right now. You need it quick. Well, the best option there is probably online or 800 number. And the reason is it's very automated. You're going to go online, you're going to plug some information in, they're going to pop a number out, and if you like it, you're just going to go for it. And so speed, generally speaking, is going to be better if you work with online or 800 numbers. As far as local, well, captive agents and independent agents are generally there locally. So there's an office you can walk into, shake hands with your agent, sit down and talk about your policies if that's what you want to do. So as far as local goes, captive and independent are your best options. You're certainly not going to have that option if you're working with an online or 800 number company. They're simply not local, and you know that going in. As far as quality, and when I'm talking about quality, what I'm trying to say is the quality of your insurance policy, that it's been put together properly, that it's going to have coverage for you when those bad things happen. Who's going to provide you with the best quality policies and the best quality companies? Well, in general, the access point that has the most option is going to give you the best quality, because those independent agents have multiple companies they can look at. And so one of the things independent agents are constantly looking at is, what's the quality of the policy that the companies are providing to me? If a company doesn't have a good quality policy, I can move on to another company. I don't have to stick with that particular company. And so I'm more likely as an independent agent to provide you with quality coverage in a quality company because I've got options. All right. The last one, well, let me just back up and say, the one that's going to have the least amount of potential quality is that online or 800 number. With a captive or an independent, you have people who are looking at your policies and making decisions about what to offer you. You're much more likely to see quality from an independent agent and even a captive agent than you are from an online or 800 number, where they're really not paying any attention to what you're purchasing. You're making all those decisions on your own without really any advice. And so the chances of the quality being low are very high. And that's one of the problems with going online or to an 800 number. Finally, price. Now, I'm going to come to a conclusion here in just a second, but I should preface it by saying, no one can say they have the best price. Price depends on so many different things at so many different moments in time. When you decide to look for insurance, that is a single moment in time. Any company may have the best price at that moment. It doesn't mean that price is going to stay the same. Companies' prices fluctuate year after year, sometimes going up, sometimes not as often as we'd like it to, but sometimes going down. In general, though, an independent agent is going to know the ebbs and flows of price in the marketplace and be able to offer you a company that is the strongest combination of price and quality at that given moment. And then as time passes, if that company's price gets worse or goes up or changes, an independent agent is going to be able to say, you know what, you're with this company, they've taken great care of you, their price is not as good as some other companies, here's another one I can offer. You've got a choice. Do you want to stick with that company that you trust and you know, or do you want to switch over to this other company and work with them because their price is better? And the great thing is you get to stay with the independent agent. You don't lose your local personal relationship when you change from one company to another. So in general, and what I see when I'm up against independent agents, when I'm looking at someone's policy that they already have and they're thinking about coming and working with Shine, is that if I'm up against an independent agent, I have a harder time showing a much better price than if I'm up against captive agents, because they're simply not offering you any other options but the single option they have. So they're not going to tell you necessarily if their price is worse than everyone else. I mean, if they've got the worst price in town, that's still the only company that they have to work with. And so in general, for those reasons, independent agents tend to have better price. Okay, so what is an independent insurance agency? The reason you started watching this video, it is access to multiple, often exclusive insurance companies inside of one agency. It works for you, not the company. So the agent is not working for any company. The agent is choosing which companies to work with. Obviously, they have a relationship with those companies, but they don't work for the company. And that works to your advantage if there's any issues along the way with the insurance company that you're placed with. Is motivated by quality and good advice. There's a reason you go to an independent agent, and it's to have an advisor. You want access to great companies, sure. You want access to good policies, absolutely. But you also want access to good advice. And in general, you're going to get that in an independent agency in a way that you may not be able to get in a captive agency, and you're certainly not going to get if you go online or go to an 800 number. Can usually find the best price and coverage for reasons I already described. And finally, helps during claims. Most captive agents, and certainly the 800 numbers or what have you, are not going to be an advocate for you during claims. In fact, most captive agents don't even get involved in the claims process. So if you have a local agent who helped you to put the policy in place, and then you have a claim, you're really going to be working directly with the company, and that agent is not going to be able to help you out. With independent agents, that's different. You'll still be working with the company, certainly during a claim, because the company is ultimately the person who is paying out the claim. But if you need your local agent to help you, if there's something going on in that claim that doesn't seem quite right, or you need support, that local agent should be able to help you out as a mediator, as a person that comes between your perspective and the insurance company's perspective. And it's one of my favorite things personally to do, to really pull those two things together and take a bad situation, potentially, troublesome, and help you understand exactly what's going on. I tell my clients all the time, I don't always have the information you want to hear, but I have the information that'll help you understand why things are the way they are. And in claim situations, that's so important to just be able to understand, because so often claims are confusing. And so an independent agent can help you do that.